I'm way too excited for this one, man. Like I'm so excited because I grew up watching this man and having an opportunity to talk to him like this. I hope we get to enjoy, and most importantly, I hope we learn a whole lot.
So,
Coach,
good evening. I hope now is better. I have your.
can you hear me now?
I have a clear picture from you. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think we're getting there. The picture will find us on the way. It will catch up. How are you? You okay?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You had a good day?
Very. It's always great to be back in Cape Town at home. When I worked here, 2003, we bought the property and with the family, we live in. When I'm not working, and obviously when I'm also working, my family stays in Cape Town. We love the place. We love South Africa, and have found our home here in South Africa most of the time.
Oh, so your whole family loves it. It's not just you.
Of course, yeah, no, we love Cape Town, and we have our social part of us is on. It has nothing to do with work. The most people always, when I come back from international or overseas, they always think I'm coming for work. It's at home.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe you might be hiding something. Okay, but that's not important right now. Coach, when we have exports, coach who come like from outside South Africa, normally they struggle a little bit and stuff like that. But with you, that was never the case. I want you to tell me like how challenging it was for you to come to South Africa because you left Germany as an assistant coach at Transport. And here, when you came, you're becoming a head coach, and it's in a whole different country. How challenging was that for you?
No, I was not. At the beginning, I wasn't a coach. Later on, I was a sport director of a very, very big club, one of the biggest clubs in Turkey. I started firstly with assistant coach on that time, and then obviously moved up very quickly to a sportive director and head role of the football of the club. But before I was the head coach of the Zaire national team. So I was already head coach several times, and I had also some smaller clubs in German football, which I was the head. So I was always head coach only at Trabzonspor because one of my closest friends, and also now I was together with him in the Turkish national team, Şenol Güneş. He was the head coach now. When I joined him as a sportive director as well now with the Turkish national team. And so we worked together also on that time in Trabzonspor, yes.
Oh, so you're surrounded by people who are now directors, coaches. This is your cycle right now. These are the people you played football with.
Good to say to you, to say for me what it was when I came to South Africa firstly. Yes, it was a bit difficult because any coach who comes to South Africa from international part will have his challenges because South Africa is it's a different a country with different approach for the culture diversity. So there is a lot of Zulu, KwaZulu-Natal, the players are different. Johannesburg players are different. The Cape Town players are different. There is a lot of cultural backgrounds which you need to respect and understand those boys when you're with them. So it took me around 6 months. There's so funny stories, and I think most of them I see that Jabba was also just online here to say hello to one of my really favorite players, I must say, that I ever worked with, the most talented players. It was like, for instance, we grew up in Germany with very structured football thinking. And so when you come in that, we live with the stress a bit differently. In the bus after 20 minutes when we lost the game, I see them singing at the back already, and so that made me very, very angry. I felt that as not serious. Half an hour after losing a game, they're sitting in the bus and I start to sing and forget the game. So it was for me. I never understood that. It made me so angry. And one day, the chairman took me on the side and said, maybe we should rethink that. And maybe is that just when they sing is just a stress relief for them to to look already for the next situation forward. Now you're sitting in your front line there in the bus, getting angry, but these boys are already impressed with singing. So it was sometimes really to understand that. There were some couple of facts like that, and I really learned a lot in my career from South Africa. And I must say that this is so beautiful people that we put our middle of our lives to South Africa.
Very true. That's a whole different kind of thing. Because even me, I didn't know about that. I thought we only sing when we won. So that's crazy.
After 20 minutes at the back, they suddenly started to sing, and I said, "What's going on here?" So, and
What are we doing?
You need to understand that there are a lot of diversities, and when you come into to a country like that, which for me has so much to give, and there's a lot of talented players, but the thinking is different. You know, there isn't too much individualism. When we come in Germany thinks as the children learn from a young age to live and take decision in collective, not individually. So obviously here, it's similar to Turkey. You want to solve the problems by your own. And so then obviously you have the special players in your team. Then you have those ones who need to serve the special players and serve the tactical aspects. And so I think some of those great players that I have worked with, had the opportunity to work with in South Africa and also internationally, can tell you a lot of stories in that direction. It's always a taking and giving, and try to also to understand the boys when they're on the field, what they do and how they see their things. And this is why I like always to talk to them. And I don't like, they're not used to you. So you're asking questions most of the time, you're not getting feedback. So that makes me also crazy angry. I let them sometimes just run. So give me direct feedback. So those ones, because in the the coaches come and ask. Can you hear me now? I think now.
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, we did lose each. Can you hear me clearly?
Not getting from a player, but players like Thabo Mooki or Dr. Kumar, I understood that very quickly. This is why we had this synergy in the team. But in other teams, sometimes I really had a challenge to get any feedback from. They don't know what to talk. So today the football has come to a much more different level, in international level. I was now with the Turkish national team. We have players like Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who plays for Inter Milan, Burak Yılmaz, who played for Olympic Lille. Fantastic players, yeah. And they expect you to talk individually and not only in a group. So there's a much more different upbringing. I think that's when those players understood that is a taking and giving, and I take my time really for those individuals to get the feedback in from them to me and me to them. That makes actually the synergy to be successful. But today football is really about but function as well. So we as coaches are today in demand to get that in. But the unfortunate part here in South Africa is that the youngsters have not enough exposure or enough development, because in Europe you will have 8 to 10 years at least proper development structures. And so that means in South Africa you have 3-5 years maximum. And that means that you're going from the primary school to the university when you become a professional. So all those years, the education is missing to those counterparts that has been playing in Europe. And obviously that you can see in an international level that Bafana is in an international way nowhere. And you don't have any more top players playing in the top leagues in international football. And that's the reason. Because the international football has come to a part that it's not the problem of South African boys are not the boys. We need as coaches to give them all the feedback what is necessary. And I've never seen any player that when you call them in the night, 10 o'clock training session or 12 o'clock, they will be on the field. They need to enjoy the game. I think most of my players that have worked with me, it's always about them and try to bring the best to the players. And they will always come to the training session anytime. So it's important that, for my opinion, that it's not just about handling the egos. It's about really when they see that they have exposure to get better. I think you can also read Lebo Manyama's last statement when we spoke about. There's also a funny story in that he also said a couple of things in my direction, which made me laugh. Actually, that is how I see to cooperate with the boys.
So, Coach, how do you think we as South Africans can improve on that? How do you think we can change this thing?
With the administration. So football is actually the face of the cultural issues in the country. So you can see what rugby has done. I think some people won't like to hear that what I am saying now. What I saw, I'm not a rugby. I don't come from a rugby culture, and I don't know the rules of the game. But what I saw yesterday night, it was the intensity. It was such a beautiful game. The intensity and the tactical aspects of the game. So if that can happen, that a rugby team is number one in the world champions, and probably, hopefully, they're gonna win it again, and that means they're doing something right. So there's a lot of what I learned for myself as a coach now yesterday, what I saw there in certain aspects. Yes, I think there is a success story, and any success story has anything to any sport that we can always take something out of it.
Very true. Do you think the implementation of things like DDC, Disc Challenge, helping us improve? Do you think that's a good direction? Because I'm asking this because this year only, I think we've exported about 8 to 9 players. So I'm thinking this is a good direction.
Yes. Oh, what is it that I have a so the point for me, I think firstly, when you achieve certain degrees of success in your country, so you need to educate the educators. If I don't have an educated coach and they live just they can just not even live with the money that they're earning, that doesn't make any sense for me. So important is that you need to divide youth coaching. The youth is a complete different methodology as the professional side. So the professional side is like a Formula One race. You need to race. And the youth section is an education factor. And then we look into the pubertary area. The children I must say that also the girls are coming to wonderful football in world football. So we need to see that the kids, girls and boys in the pubertary area, the girls are a bit earlier, between 10 and 12 and 13 years, they need to really look into proper educators and good coaches. So that means that you need to, and the school football obviously has to be looked very much details. And these are the ages and years that is been missing. And then obviously I hear always this nonsense, and I see some of my boys in there, they will love to hear it. I hear always the story, express yourself. I mean, football is just, please stop this nonsense. Football is not about expressing yourself. Football is about clear structures, organizing as a collective, with the ball and without the ball. Express yourself, you can do that in the week in the discotheque, in the weekend with the music there, you can express yourself. so football is about really, maybe is that a word for express yourself, that to take your own decisions, which is important, but express yourself is on the dance floor, not on the football field.
Yes, and you know, I'm one of the people who advocated for expressing yourself. I'm not gonna lie, because I was looking at players like Neymar, Ronaldo. I'm saying these people are keeping the Brazilian culture and they're making it useful in the professional world. Why can't we do the same? Why can't we use our Scarango versus Zongo and other people to do the same thing? Confuse the opposition, but still use it to help us get results.
Yes, it is very much important. You saw that in Jabu. I hate that, like Jabu. Then a certain time freedom to get behind the line. Maybe is that the wording for, I don't know, maybe I understand the wording wrong, but must be, let me say, Siyabonga Nomete, for instance, before I came, he was not even playing, he was always injured. So he scored in that season 22 goals and went straight to Italy. So we worked on him on a special part in the game that he could take defenders on. Is that maybe the express yourself wording? Then is that express yourself? But football is already just imagine 11 players on the field express yourself. So the game is today under two. So receiving and passing, express themselves, what's going to happen? There's no game anymore. So we did certain players in certain time where you really eliminate a player. And yeah, that was no better that we said, okay, eliminate again, eliminate, try again. Once you come over, you will score that goal. And every time when he couldn't come over the defender, he looked always to me, and I always say, continue, take on. So it doesn't matter on that time that he loses the ball, but that gives them the confidence that we won't, let me say, he won't gonna lashed for me, that he always loses the ball in a certain, in this type of situations, you need a creative player, because otherwise it's a very schematic game. It will be too structured. So there's like a chess. There are two chess playing each other. There will be no elements, which the football actually is important, like having players like Neymar, having players like, on my time, Thabo Mooki, Jabu Pule, Siyabonga Nomvete, who can eliminate players.
That's very true. And I like that you clarified it, because sometimes when people just say, condemn showboating, condemn expressing yourself, but now at least you're making it make sense to even people who are saying express yourself, because you make them understand that yes, you can take on two players and create a goal. But if you're just gonna stand on the ball and do tricks the whole day,
yeah,
you
no,
have
also,
video tricks and you win.
You won't see that in any international, also disrespecting opponents. You need to see also that way. We don't want to disrespect our opponents. We need to be respectful. You see in rugby, you can see that how respectful is. It's a really like a hooligan game. Very each respectful to each other. So, and on my time when I coached teams, it's the first thing, we never undermined any team. So we respect the team, the opponents, because they also make the living business with this. And in the high-paid professional football today, you need to respect anyone that is on your field, I think.
I understand. I heard you loud and clear. So you coming to Kaizer Chiefs, spending the whole, it's 4 seasons, right? You came in 99, season 99, 2000 to 2023,
Yes.
right? So during those periods, you had a whole lot of skillful players, like a lot. Those were it's like the epitome of skillful players. How did that work out for you? Because when you turn to the left, it's Jawupuli. On the right, it's Kar. On the middle, it's Doctor. They're all skillful. How do you deal with that?
See, that's the everybody can speak about anything, and as a coach, you need to stand in front of players that has the ability, very intelligent, highly intelligent human beings. I don't when I see that they're undermining football players from that level, it makes me really angry, because they're special. And, you need to combine them. There is a time when you have the ball, and there's a time when you lose the ball. And obviously, you have to have a certain combination. I had players then involved, like Marco Mutembo, for instance, from the wing, and on the other side, Atazwane, who really came with pace on you any given time. So that was like on the highway, left and right. So the ball came like they were going. But we had a security system in there, so that when Ata had the ball inside, so and waited when we lose the ball or come over to the other side, so that he's going to be off. But it's always a partnership that we had. And then when Doggy has the ball, that the front players need to, because Doctor doesn't lose the ball. For me, also, Thabo Mooki was one of the best players that I also have ever worked. Also not been mentioned enough.
Yeah.
I wish. I think Philippe, when he came to South Africa, he also loved him. He was the key in our game. the moment when the team drifts backwards, so we had the three at the back and there's two wingers, so it was most of the time five. And then the opponent was pressurizing you, but then you need a player that find a way out. So the first ball was always Thabo Mooki or Dr. Kumar. You win the ball back. If one is close, you play the other one. And we made clear that they don't lose the ball in this build-up. They don't lose it. So that means that our winger could go 10, 15 meters forward. And that was then the next step. So immediately 1-2 and then the ball outside. So that means then also then the opponent's going to be stretched. So we had a certain tactical aspects. And I love those boys, those moments when you could see the balls were flying left or right and you could see with the precise movements. And when Jabu received the ball on the left, you see something going to happen. And he was a player that when he receives the ball, that he had the freedom. If that maybe is that express yourself story, he had the then to take opponents on or take decisions on his own. And then we had not to forget Stanton Frederick, which for me also a player that really is amazing player. That also you mentioned then later on meeting to a player that to play in Europe. So we had this diversity in the team, but also what is done important is that I made them very much clear in the beginning that there's too many individual guys that are very good. And then I need to put some one of them on the bench. So I was rather not to put them on the bench, put them on the field. To have a confidence when we lose the ball that the organization factors, everybody has to fulfill these aspects. Otherwise, the 11 players won't make it. Then we had always the security system, what I call the security system in Patrick Mabedi, Gary Goldstone, Ama. Those they were the guys that really went into to win those balls back fast.
Very true. You know, like when I look at your football back then, the defense was strong, yes. The midfield, you had Tinashe, who's I think is still the greatest DM to ever come to play in Chiefs.
It was my pillar that I can sleep well.
Yes. Wait, and then with Tinashe, you had Thabo Mooki. But with Doctor in the team, how did you choose to build your team around Thabo Mooki instead of Doctor? Because personally, yes, I love Thabo, but I want to understand this part because Doctor was the main guy. How did you build your team around Thabo instead of Doctor?
We had a very extremely pacey game. When you look into those I think the boys will tell you, we had Elsa Storm, which for me one of the best fitness coaches worldwide that ever I worked with, and some couple of clubs in South Africa took her with me. International level, she's very high skilled in matter of sport science. And so when we built the training program in the week, when I said we have, let me say, 12 to 14 hours in the week to train. So we divided then into the training session tactically, physically, and technically. And then Elsa took care. I will never forget Gerd Skalkwijk when he comes one to see in the beginning. Gerd came with 10 kilo too much. I even didn't weigh him. I say, Elsa, it's your handbag. So bring him back. So yeah, I mean, the type of football we want to play is very pacey, aggressive going forward. So with the tummy, like that, he could do that. Doctor had an unbelievable skill. In skill, he could see things happening before. So obviously, both together on the midfield was a challenge for me to put them together in, but I managed that because we're speaking about highly skilled and highly intellectual players that you don't have that anymore. So for me, what was then important is that how can we, when we lose the ball, how can we organize that we don't go backwards and keep quickly pressing? So Doctor had his qualities, Thabo had his qualities, and then also all the Jabu had his qualities, and then all the other ones need to find it.
Yeah, Jabu, I was watching one of your interviews and you said Jabu is more like Ronaldinho. That was a big statement.
Yeah, no, it's not a big statement. I've been 35 years now in professional football. I played myself at the highest level, and I think I've worked with tremendous players. And, I worked in 3 continents. I think, say from offensive, with the skill that he had and the possibility to provide certain elements in the game is that I have never come across. He could take any defender on. I must say that. So and I wish he would have played now. Now I think he would be payable. So he would. I took him with me to Austria as well, and I've never forget the first 10 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, was my play of the week. He was mesmerizing those Austrian defenders. And we had
I can imagine.
he had a great combination. Behind him was Christian Fuchs. Fuchs he played later on for Leicester. Yeah, no, a fantastic player. He was also 17 years old, and then I put him in, and he was unbelievable. And then he had on the other side Michi Merz, also Austrian international. So Jabu, Michi, and Fuchsi was really, really combining. And then we had Didi Kuba in the middle, like player like Dr. Kumalu, who could hold on to the ball and they could move forward.
Hey, let me just clarify something. Guys, I'm going to allow you, towards the end of the interview, I'm going to allow you to throw in some questions down there, and then I'll ask the coach, okay? So please bear with me. I can't be reading comments now. I have to focus. So, yeah, coach, how would you best describe your time, your first stint at Kaizer Chiefs, the first one you spent 4 years, not these other ones? How would you best describe that time?
The chairman had, I call him the president, Mr. Mutang, Dr. Mutang. And I must say, first from here again, I wrote today on the internet about happy birthday and many more years to come. And he always let shed light on us. I must say that whoever came across together with him, he will. Because coach alone can never have own way. Don't believe in that. You need to have people surround you to be very successful. So there's no one-man show. This doesn't matter. That doesn't exist. So it has to be combined. So in that time, I brought 2 women into the team. I remember I always must laugh about that. And I said to the chairman, president, I called him president, Mr. Matang, I want to bring a lady into the fitness coach. He says to me, coach, it's not our culture. We have never a girl around me. I said, no, chairman, change the culture. We need to bring more a girl in. A woman in professional football, it's always very much important. It eases the whole aggression and the situation a bit down. When a woman is in a dressing room and she handles certain things, and she's even better in fitness than my players, then they will quickly. So, and always everybody will tell you from those boys. So, and then we had the South African sprinter. So players were running like ducks. So that little bit of that pace and aggression with the combination with the way we wanted to play was Adri de Jong, the best person to bring in. She was a South African 800-meter champion. Was one of so he was trained with us on the field in the morning. In the afternoon, he was on the track with Adri de Jong on the rhythm. So we needed to combine that. And I remember the national coach from South Africa told me that if Atta would train proper athleticism, he would be probably 800 meters South Africa would go for the Olympics. That good he was. He was unbelievable. And so we myself on that time, when I brought that in, I needed to combine those players because everyone had his very much individual skill. And
yes.
So individual brilliance. And then we find, so obviously the chairman, the president helped me a lot on that. Goes to the cultural backgrounds, it's very much important. And so we used to talk hours about not who's going to play, about the cultural backgrounds. That was always a help for me. The one from Durban is a bit different. The one from Johannesburg, obviously the one from Mpumalanga is completely different to the one from Cape Town. So there's a called cultural diversity and understanding so you needed to combine that. And that's the chairman came in to me to guide me on that, because me coming from international football from Germany on that time was a bit a challenge in the beginning, because you want to have this you believe in the training methods, but they are human beings, they're different.
Yes, you can't force them into doing something that will end up just breaking them.
No, I was always trying to speak and get the feedback, but that was always a challenge. Later on, when they had to trust, then they started to, then they never stop anymore, like Jabo. To talk.